Welcome to our latest channeling session from the members of Ashtar Command on Hades Base. My name is Russ Hatfield, and I am joined by my twin soul Karra, who is a higher dimensional member of Ashtar Command. June's channeling session comes with a few notes to explain some things that came up but may not have been on the tape. First off, we're honored by the presence of some of the main leadership of Ashtar Command in the form of Ashtar himself, along with the head of communications, Korton, who starts things off by going over some recent research I've been doing on a higher dimensional group of individuals, working with some third dimensional individuals to both open a vortex over southern Atlantis and build a pyramid to connect up to it in southern Colorado. The bulk of the conversations in the first half of the tape are in regards to how likely it was to be constructed and what the effects would be if they were successful. The real-world problems that could occur were their main concerns due to possibly ignoring the multidimensional laws of physics. What supposedly was being built was an interdimensional defense shield and portal. Next to speak is Ashtar, who explains he is worried about a higher dimensional being taking a direct hand in mankind's development. He contrasts the differences in how the command is against telling us what to do, as opposed to the group being discussed. Korton follows up Ashtar again, and a name comes up of Rhea, who was a friend of mine from Sedona helping with the surveillance of the group's activities in Colorado. Another note from his time speaking was that Karra would eventually have twins as he predicted. Omal's extra notes are only about that Karra and Tia needed to be careful while the main speakers were on because they were pregnant, and the energies in the room were intense. Then, of course, is the reminder that he is the commander of the base, even though it doesn't seem that way sometimes. Karra ends aside with only a single note, and that was that Kiri's planned healing down here was to be one of many such sessions. Side 2 has Karra returning, and the note not spoken was where she discusses an apology I need to make to Tia. It is for a past life regression I did on her through Mark's body, and during it, she discovered things in her past that made her rethink her history from a life she didn't expect. Kiri's next, with a lesson on coercion, and there's a stipulation that it is used to help people in need. It should never be used for personal gain as the karma is increased negatively. Luna joins the girls, and the only note from her channeling is that the disaster she discusses in Earth's history was where the pole shifted and an inhabited Earth was flooded as recorded in the Bible. Finally, Tia closes out the session, and the person she speaks of, who has never been pregnant before, is another female Durandodon scientist on the base. Finally, we hear that Karra has planned an ambush of Mark to get him healed before he left the base to come back to the third dimension. For a full transcript of this latest healing channeling session, please go to our main homepage at hadesbasenews.com. We invite you to subscribe to be kept informed of future postings on our YouTube channel from the members of Ashtar Command. Now, we present our latest entry into the Hades Base archives recorded in 1994, Collective Consciousness as a God.
Right. Okay. It was a nice idea that did not function correctly.
Yes. How's the seat? More comfortable?
Yes, more comfortable. Okay. Now, discussing tonight's events. We have, first of all, a few other people here than normal. They will be speaking in turn. Now, down to business.
Okay.
Oh dear. First of all, what would possess this group of 35 individuals, was it, to mess around with a vortex that they claim needed opening when it was fine and functioning within parameters due to new environmental factors?
It's the Atlantis, I take it.
Correct. What would possess them to do something so Asinine.
Well, I believe they're being led by some similar-minded entities.
More mischievous by the sounds of it, or not possessing enough enlightenment. It sounds more along the lines that they are novices at this new line of work and they wish to make themselves appear more than they are, which is fine as long as you do not interfere until you have learnt enough. It sounds more like a group of individuals that have passed on into a new level of existence, still behaving as if they have this flesh and bone substance that is third dimensional, not fifth or sixth or seventh dimension. They're behaving very much with conceit that you would expect from somebody of the third dimension saying, okay, I want to be immortalized, let's build myself a temple that people will remember me by.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like an ego on the way up to becoming godhood here.
That is what they wish. After all, did they not say a new world order?
Yeah.
We do not wish to create a new world order. We wish you to evolve at your own pace. Accelerating the evolution of a race is harmful because you do not learn from that. That was proved in Atlantis, that the interference of various parties between Cro-Magnon and modern man. And look what happened there.
Us.
And all your problems and imperfections.
Right.
Admittedly, the forced evolution means that you have not learnt sufficiently. And this is what these individuals are trying to create and have not learned, that a forced evolution does not work.
So in other words, the pyramids in Atlantis were designed under the same auspices as what you're looking at here.
Basically, yes, but there are many different factors which have to be taken into consideration.
When they're not going to be generating power,
No.
they're going to be receiving information and power from the sounds of it here.
Yes. Does that not sound flawed to you?
Yeah. I mean, when I look at what they're calling the emitters, being the Crab Nebula, Pleiades, Hercules, and somewhat taking have time to write down, it's like, what the heck is being emitted from these places?
Sources of information which are advanced but are tainted by the emotions of recently, as they would say, ascended individuals that still possess and think in a third dimensional way. To achieve the unity that they are looking for, you have to first of all stop thinking in the third dimensional level. Construction temples is fine if you want to be immortalized for a time, but if you want true unity, then you proceed with what you have at hand. You do not need to construct such things. We are not saying do not construct this pyramid that they wish to construct, but we're saying first of all look at the motives of other groups concerned.
Well, looking at the Pyramid of Giza, I mean, isn't this just merely a redundant example of what's already taken place on third dimension?
Correct.
So why not build this thing on fifth dimension if you really want to get busy?
It is because these individuals are still thinking in a third dimensional way.
Sounds a lot like that.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Well, what the heck are they opening the vortexes in Atlantis for?
That is something that we cannot figure out, that they would be so stupid to mess around with something that they do not possess the intelligence to work with. For the intelligence to use in that would realize that it would be unnecessary and unwise at present with the technology available at hand to mess around with that.
Well, theoretically, they might not have opened it. I'll have to find this book out and see what kind of experiences they had out of this. Sacred journey to Atlantis.
Yes.
It should be good.
Presumably it will say that they did open a vortex.
Presumably, yeah.
But how can you open a vortex that already is open?
By going to when it's already open and getting its energy and thinking that it's yours.
Correct.
That's a bit egotistical.
Very. We're not knocking the young lady concerned,
Right.
but it sounds like she has been led up the proverbial garden path.
Mm-hmm.
And these individuals that claim to be enlightened on a higher dimension need a severe talking to.
I don't know. Ascended masters who talk to her on a computer just kind of is a little weird.
Yes.
I mean, this is a wee bit more person to person. But on your computer,
Well,
there's room for error there, if you
Yes.
ask me.
because of the speed of the silicon chips and the electrical impulses.
Right, and going from brain to hand, keyboard,
Yes.
that alone is going to cause interference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yes, exactly. Oh boy.
Okay, who is this Kuthumi fellow? You ever heard of this guy yet?
Yes, we have heard of it. And he is with good intent. He has wisdom, but he has the problem of being recently ascended and thinking in a third dimensional way.
Well, yeah, it looks like his last life was, as Kuthumi. Before that, John the Beloved, and so on and so on.
Pythagoras, I believe.
Pythagoras, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So he's still kind of involved in or with those things that happen on this third dimensional existence.
Yes. Somebody that still hangs around their home planet, having achieved a new level of existence. Well, what does that suggest?
That you still got a bunch of karma you're trying to work out.
Correct.
That way to work it out by using people like this for questionable goals, but
No, not questionable. There is good intent to get the human mind to work together, but they forget many factors. Human nature, human greed, the environmental factors, astronomical factors.
well, they're talking about having it. Well, we'll get to that about force field and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're expecting weird things. Okay,
They will be very disappointed.
now they're looking at having the person who built Solomon's Temple and the Great Pyramid assist them on the architecture of this.
Mm-hmm.
That should be interesting.
Yes, it should be, shouldn't it?
Well, they track him down. I'll be getting a good laugh there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, according to them, below this obsidian capstone,
Mm-hmm.
they're looking at having these columns connected up to these computer centers
Mm-hmm.
that are set up to receive informations from ships down to an Earth-based level.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that sound wrong?
Because it is already happening.
Right.
How does NASA receive information? You don't need to build a pyramid for that. You can get a simple copper dish and receive information from spaceships. It's quite simple,
Well, we're not doing it now.
because it is an obsolete technology.
Oh,
It is all fine and dandy. Basically, what they're making is a receiver that uses telemetry to track for tracking.
yeah, we got that.
Correct.
Okay, well, the obsidian contains electrolytic charges
Mm-hmm.
that's supposed to regulate the energy level of this thing.
Yes.
Does that sound like it's workable for you?
Yes, it is workable.
And using a crystal chamber
Mm-hmm.
to work through those same energies.
Correct.
Um,
Where are they going to get the energies from?
Right. Typically from what they say, what the ley line and the grid lines
Mm-hmm.
are being perfectly aligned like a typical pyramid.
Yes.
So I guess that's where they're getting the energies from.
Presumably, but
Wait a minute, that doesn't work.
correct. One
'Cause they're trying
cancels
to-
out the other.
Right, and plus they're drawing it down.
Mm-hmm.
That means they're not pulling up from the earth at all.
No.
Now what they're talking about is trying to set up something that's going to stop the shifting of the earth axis.
Mm-hmm. If anything, it will aggravate it.
Yeah. We're talking southern Colorado. If I'm not mistaken, that's not exactly on the other side of the world from the Great Pyramid.
No. That is the reason why we are concerned, is that it will aggravate things more.
I mean, what the heck are they doing this for? Never mind. I don't want to get upset about
No, don't.
this.
There is one word of wisdom that was spoken
What was that?
about keeping calm.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It is unfortunate that the karma of a few can affect many.
Well, that's if they can get this thing built. We're looking at a structure some 497.64 feet long
Mm-hmm.
with a 6-sided wall around it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have enough trouble with our national budget, much less
Mhm.
trying to get something like this built.
And with what they have in mind, do you know, and the channeler is aware of this, what they would need to construct this?
As far as financial terms,
No. The materials.
materials, well, just to start with the 12-foot sides of the capstone alone coming from Jerusalem,
Jericho.
Jericho, you're looking at an immense cost and just building materials,
Mm-hmm.
much less the crystal chamber and gold-plated ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the gold-plated ceiling has nothing to do with the energies. It's merely an example of man's tribute.
Yes. To
For what?
his God.
Right.
And who is God?
Us.
Correct.
It sounds like the 16th chapel, practically.
Mm-hmm.
Just
16?
16.
Let's get your pronunciation correct.
Specific.
Yes.
Okay. Now then, they're dealing with 2 stars of David,
Mm-hmm.
which will help unite the planet also. Why not pentagrams?
Because they are dealing with third-dimensional beings, basically. That's all they are, that have ascended to another dimension. That still have the principles and knowledge of an old science.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of 3s floating around this whole mess that we were talking about last night. I mean, good Lord, tried in every position that they got. That's kind of a big clue right there. We're supposed to be setting this up to go with transition from 3rd to 5th,
Mm-hmm.
and yet they're dealing all in 3s.
Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
Because they are still laboring under the misapprehension of the sacred numbers. The sacred numbers are fine and dandy when you're messing around on your own dimension, but once you proceed into another dimension, then there is a new law of physics to learn. The fourth dimension is unusable except for in traveling great distances. Because what is the fourth dimension? And they are on about ascending into the freedom of the fifth dimension, which is
Space.
correct. So they have a problem there.
Right.
It's not the fifth dimension you're aiming for. The fifth dimension is a stepping stone into other dimensions, from one to another, back to the third or onto the sixth. It depends on where you wish to go.
Well, now, what is this about telluric currents?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is a telluric current?
That is the current which runs through the cosmos that can be affected by the gravitational field of a planet and be focused by collection on a particular point.
Any examples of that here on Earth? Like, say, vortexes or something?
Vortexes is a very unfocused form of that.
So what would be a focused example?
A portal.
Like a Great Pyramid, maybe.
You focus it and you create the portal from one place to another.
That keys into a lot of things then. So, where would these folks be trying to focus all this telluric currents onto? This spot in southern Colorado?
That would act as a gateway, a portal to somewhere else.
Well, what are they trying to establish a portal?
I don't know.
Sounds kind of funky to me.
Yes, it sounds very suspicious.
Very suspicious. And here we are, these same telluric currents are supposed to help establish an electromagnetic force field that will keep away those elements wishing to, how do they put it, bring down this achievement.
Yes, they are trying to create a defense shield against other groups. They appear to be more militaristic than certain organizations in various sectors throughout this galaxy.
Or they're expecting military intervention.
Which means that they are more militaristic.
Right. For example, what happens if suddenly this thing does start aggravating the Earth's polarity and someone tries to stop it, they run into a force field.
Correct.
And it's too late.
Correct. Well, we will now hand over to someone who has some very important things to say on this issue.
Okay, great. Thank you, Korton.
Greetings and felicitations, Mr. Hatfield.
Greetings, Ashtar.
Yes, indeed.
I thought you might be interested in this one.
Okay, first of all, let's get your questions out of the way before I give my dissertation on this current development and situation.
Okay. Speaking on this current development, Mark's coming up with the fact that they can't match to these star systems they're trying to match to.
Correct.
So even if they build this, they're still going to run into problems once they get it built.
Correct.
So their information they're getting is flawed then.
Yes. I believe my esteemed colleague said that these are third-dimensional beings with the capability of being in 7, or recently ascended to 7. However, these star systems that they talk about can be aligned at particular times of the year, but by using 3 on each side to serve a purpose which yet eludes me, this cannot work all the time.
Right.
You cannot have all 3 aligned at the same time on every side of the pyramid. When that happens, and it could happen, it will happen sometime down in the future, the alignment of all of these on the correct sides of the pyramid, which will be sometime within the next couple thousand years.
Well, could this all be one big smokescreen then to establish a purpose that's yet unknown?
Quite possibly. We will take steps to see that this does not happen, that there is no intervention of a recently ascended being into your natural evolution of your planet.
Good. Yeah, it's working out to be that way. Okay, well, that was the main question I had anyway. I know time's short, so I'll let you.
Okay. Let me marshal my thoughts. Now, concerning these sacred numbers, 3 being the number and 12 being the number, doesn't it sound as if these individuals are still very much more than people realize 3-dimensional? Having recently ascended to the 7, they behave in such a way that suggests that they haven't yet reached a mental capability to have achieved full enlightenment. They are still tinged by the emotions of the 3rd dimension, various passions and anxieties, wishing to be pleased. You will do this, and so on, is the words that they use. They do not request that if you wish to, because you will. Do not trust these individuals. However, it may be useful to experiment with them to see how far they want to go, gain their confidence so that they will divulge things. Then report to us and we can see what is happening, whether or not the situation is developing into a dangerous level, or if they are just messing around and do not understand and do not possess the capability to cause harm, which we hope is the case. However, if inadvertently they start to cause harm, again, we will step in and stop any of this riskful behavior happening. Now, there is another point to be discussed. There is the Atlantean, the Egyptian, and the Knights Templar. There is a problem here. The first 2 go together extremely well in the way of their behavior. The final part, the Knights Templar, would have a conniption bit that's been associated with the previous 2, as they believe in a god being a being, whereas the Egyptians believed in many gods, and the Atlanteans believed in the collective consciousness as a god, everybody being a god. You, me, Tia, Calvin, all being gods. which is true to a certain extent. So there is a problem here as well. You cannot fit those three together. They do not work. People that were Knights Templar in one life would have extreme difficulty working with somebody that has a more recent memory of another era. They would not jive, although there are individuals that have been all three. But this is to work out the karma and persecutions of the previous two. Somebody that was a Knight Templar only in a lifetime, and not an Atlantean nor an Egyptian, would have a hard time working with these individuals. Now, the construction of the aforementioned pyramid, obsidian is fine, but using copper and titanium core for the copper would be beneficial for focusing energy to create a portal. But the question is, where does this portal go? Is it a gateway for conquest, as we suspect that their form of progress is more in the way of enforcing their way of thinking on lesser beings? Do you not try to force your way of thinking onto animals, such as pets?
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound correct for them? Are they not trying to enforce their way on you?
Similar analogy, yes.
Yes. Do you wish to be pets?
No.
Then why are individuals letting themselves believe that they will help? Do you not help your pets?
Yeah, feeding and all.
But what freedom do they have?
Well, our cats are pretty free. They know what food to ship at and come to it when they're hungry.
Yes, but what about the canine species?
Well, they don't have much freedom at all.
And birds? And other animals that you keep in cages? But the cage can be a nice environment. But it is no substitute for experience that is not controlled.
Right. They're a limited world, in other words.
Correct. But the fifth dimension is a gateway to other dimensions because of its very nature of being space. But, however, it can be turned to your advantage.
Okay.
That by accelerating those selected individuals that have the capability, that are already enlightened and evolved, can proceed to the fifth dimension and thus stepping off into other dimensions. There are some individuals that appear to be more evolved than the recently ascended. A person that springs to mind that would be greatly welcome is the Dalai Lama. He is, by his very nature, an enlightened person. He is not a pacifist. So therefore, he does not preach, do not cause harm, because struggle is necessary, because it means that you learn from it. And the Dalai Lama appreciates the value of struggle.
Yeah, I heard him a few days ago, and it's quite informative and intelligent.
Very. And he would be greatly welcomed here. But I believe that he has more work to do with you before he is ready to make the jump. Now, my time is, as you said, running short. I must depart, but I assure you, once I have had time to analyze these facts, and thank you for bringing them to our attention, I will be back talking to you. Maybe a couple of days, it may be longer, but I assure you we will be giving it our full attention.
So we'll keep you fully informed.
Thank you.
Farewell.
Greetings once again.
Greetings.
As always.
As always. Okay. Sounds to me like the Kuthumi fellow has got some unfinished business down here on Earth.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
It sounds like he's trying hard to finish it up, no matter what the cost.
Even to himself. That he will have problems once he finishes his karma, because he is creating more. Once his existence in the seventh is finished, he will return to the third, because he has created more karma that needs to be worked on.
How do you get to the seventh in the first place?
That eludes me.
Really eludes me. It's like, this guy shouldn't have gotten past the fifth.
Well, some things do slip through the gaps occasionally.
Yes. Okay. Now, on reporting and surveillance, are we bucking surveillance of a astral nature then?
Yes.
And reporting from a physical nature?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan. I'll get more information from Raya on all this fun stuff and get an exact map coordinates to work with.
Yes. Do not, as of yet, tell her how concerned we are. Just say that we are showing interest and we advise caution.
Okay.
Caution to proceed carefully and to get more facts and information before proceeding. Point out various incontinuities as if they're your own thoughts.
Okay.
When the time is correct, we will inform Raya of developments.
Yeah, like opening vortexes in the Atlantis area.
Yes. And we also perceive that they will claim to have the builder of the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah. It would seem so.
Yes. No, they will claim sometime down in the future that they will claim to have the person who constructed the pyramids of Giza, the Great Pyramid, to be precise.
That'd be fairly easy to determine one way or another just through regression.
You have already done a regression where an individual has a little knowledge, to say the least.
But we're talking about someone that has major knowledge. This is like almost impossible. We'll work on that later.
Remember a brainstorming session?
I do remember it well.
Yes. And
Mark is in his carnation of Max's quite involved in the building of that pyramid.
yes, who would be the best person to use at present to construct the new pyramid?
Mark.
Not the yet precisely.
But with more knowledge than what he currently possesses on his pyramid building.
Yes, you would have to repress him to the building.
Correct.
And of course, we would not let that happen in such a situation.
Right. Because it would accelerate this problem.
Yes. And also because it would open up other problems and also unleashing the full capability of Maxis on these people.
Oh yeah. We don't want our crystals popping up everywhere.
Not only crystals, but also the fact that he was a person of quite considerable PK.
True.
If they got into a point where he was in a situation of danger, then what? Would he not unleash his full psychokinetic capability?
Lord, he might do that to me at the point anyway. Yeah,
Um,
look at me.
Combined with the capability of manifestation?
Yeah. Be frying brains right, left, and sideways.
Exactly. But in a controlled environment, it could be beneficial.
Right. Kept under control.
Yes, exactly. And I'm sure that other ascended beings do not realize the full danger that they would be putting the people on the third dimension in by awakening this capability, or for a better word, this monster.
Well, it's not going to happen, so that's at least one worry off our minds.
Yes.
If Mark is not here in this with us, he'd probably be with them there.
Yes, and that would be, we would send you to stop it.
That'd be no problem.
Theoretically. You may have had to do the brotherly duty to stop the horror.
Okay.
Repay the debt, as it were.
Right.
Work out that bit of karma. Okay, now, to lighter matters.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm pretty excited myself.
I believe it is your custom.
Oh, yes it is. And well done, man. Yes, I'm pretty happy.
Maybe twins, we hope.
Ooh, that'd be great. Okay. Yeah, this is much better than going into deep stuff.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Alright.
Now, do you have, it would appear from what has preceded, any light and frivolous questions?
I'll save a few for Omar.
Okay. Then we have done our duty.
Okay.
We look forward to discussing with you this matter, other matters, at a later date. As always, it's a pleasure to have been here, and have an enjoyable morning.
You too, Korton. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon on this matter.
Greetings, Russ.
Greetings.
And how is everything functioning?
Slightly within specified parameters.
Yes. Well, there is nothing that I can touch that my colleagues have not already touched.
This is true. Good.
And this is what we find.
That's a good joke. I like that one.
Okay.
Alright. Next station.
Okay, hold out your hand. Do the penny.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Fifth dimensional manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
Lingerie style.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pointers, please.
Pointers. Okay. More concentration. Not so much drifting. More energy.
Okay. Now, was I trying to get too much detail?
Yes.
A little less detail.
You were also trying too hard. You have to relax a little bit and let the energy flow. Collect the energy and then let it flow.
A little too tough an option to maybe start with.
Possibly.
I never really got to see the final product come out pretty good.
Yes, you got it perfect.
Okay, good. All I know is the basics was kind of okay.
Yes. A little bit, about 2 inches from the hip height was what you wish.
All right.
I mean, 2 inches below the
Below,
height.
yeah.
Yes. Hip height would be up to her navel.
Yes. A little bit risque even for Hades days.
Yes.
Okay, and then the frills are all came out real fine.
Really fine.
Now, I assumed going into this that working on something of a light, flimsy nature
Mm-hmm.
would take considerably less energy than something that more dense as in a penny.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's not quite how it works
No,
out.
it's not the case.
Well, why is that? Because of the size of it?
Partly. Also, the construction of different thickness of materials, especially around the trilly areas, and the fact of the density. You can compact molecules down quite easily, but once you have to stretch them back out, that takes a little bit more energy. So you do not have to pack them as much. You were tending to pack them down as if you were trying to create a penny.
Oh. So a little more light, airier
Yes.
is my
The-
energy would.
Where it is normally fine to be heavy-handed, it is not in this case. With the penny, the more heavy-handed you are, the better.
Right.
But with something so fine, and not as densely packed, then it is necessary to not be as heavy-handed. In fact, it is a very precise thing to do.
Okay. Well, being as I've only worked with pennies, it's
Yes.
typical.
You are at a disadvantage.
My first effort's going to be a little bit heavy-handed.
Of course. But it's giving you something to work on.
That's true. I mean, I've got a lot of good experience working on manifestation. And,
Mm-hmm. Once you have mastered it to perfection here, then you will be able to master it reasonably well down there.
that's true. So I've kind of working with a little bit lighter materials also is a little better for my practice. Such a large quantity of such.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try underwear next
Yes.
time.
I believe she likes boxer shorts.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking more like fairly lightweight bikini style underwear.
Oh, you could.
Less dense and less material.
Mm-hmm.
She'll have to get used to that.
Okay. She likes that sort of thing.
Okay. And then what I'll try to do is set it up a little bit not quite as lightweight a material, maybe something more like t-shirt material.
Time to change the subject.
Oh,
The ladies are here.
Oh.
The sirens of Hades.
okay. The ladies of Hades.
Yes, they were kept away because of higher authorities. Ashtar, in other words.
Of course. Okay, well the energy was probably pretty heavy there at that point
Mhm.
anyway.
And those two of them have to be careful.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Now then. Let's see. I assume then that the idea for doing a little hand clapping up there
Mm-hmm.
came from someone who would have a good knowledge of such things.
Yes. You're welcome. Okay, next question.
All right. Dealing with surveillance. Okay. Want to know on going through the astral form for surveillance. What is it that would take the same kind of focusing that I used this morning? In other words, would my ultra senses come into play for this thing?
Yes. Focus tightly. Use your eyes and your ears. Don't worry too much about the smell sensation. You can do away with that. And the feeling sensation, just concentrate with your eyes and hearing as if you were watching television.
Maybe there's a good analogy.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so I can use that same better. Because you kind of lose yourself into a TV program.
Yes.
It would be the same system whereby you leave yourself into surveillance.
Correct.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Any jokes?
No, I came unprepared for jokes tonight.
And we have none either.
That's alright.
Well, next time maybe they'll let me handle some of the heavy information. And after all, who runs this place?
Good point.
Okay.
Alright. Thank you very much. I'm all for everything.
Well, in the flavour of the current situation, 2-star General Amal signing off.
Lance Corporal Hatfield out also.
Don't underestimate your rank if this was a military organisation.
True.
The only part of it that is military is...
The pilots.
Yes. And they're very military compared to your planet,
Yeah, luckily.
fortunately. Well,
Farewell, we'll talk to you very soon.
I'll be back.
I'll be waiting.
Perhaps Korton should have used that just before Ashtar channeled.
That would have been good.
Yes, it would have.
Bit of humor there.
Unfortunately, I don't think humour was on the agenda for those two.
No, that was pretty serious.
Yes, it was. Well, as a wise man once said, let's act like a stick of dynamite and get the flock out of here. Sorry, let's blow this joint.
Right. Take care. I'll see you soon.
Look forward to it. No, Kiri?
No, Kiri. She'll be here Tuesday.
Okay, looking forward to it. I'll be ready. Yeah, I can focus enough initially. No problem.
Okay, we're going to work on smaller areas of the body then.
Yes. As was discussed earlier on.
Okay, I wonder about that. Should have expect already.
Okay. We'll probably start off with mental damage and also physical damage from one end to the other, as it were. Oh, thank you. Well, it takes two to dance. Takes two to play with, no, for, no, chest, or chest.
That's very good.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
All right. What's up, love? How you feeling?
Haven't thrown up yet.
All right.
It's still early. I thought I might have been when we discussed things on Wednesday, was it? Tuesday. Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Thought I might have been, but I didn't want to, I mean, as a rule, as I said, I'm not normally late very often, but twice a year. And that was normally after a celebration, and then after working very hard and heavy.
Maybe one of which you moved up a whole lot of it.
No. So it was likely that I was, but I didn't want to say definite and then have to disappoint you. As it is, it is.
Yeah. Now, what's the word here on twin?
Oh, it's a distinct possibility.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had twins before?
No. But occasionally, my eggs have been known to split. And as I haven't had any removed for quite a while, it is possible that this one is split.
What a possible name of one to throw at you.
Okay.
Jeez.
Kristen and the Agronauts.
Arguments, but yeah, close enough.
Agronauts.
Arguments.
Ask the channeler what the word agro means.
Agro. I know what agro.
Yes.
Agro means, violent.
Yes. It is a joke.
Okay.
Kristen and the aggressive ones.
Well, probably at first.
That's with tears brewed. But possibly.
It's going to be a children's center up there.
Yes, we have a children's centre planned.
Oh, good. You're going to be going.
Yes. Which I believe ties in with something that was discussed briefly about an hour and a half ago.
Centers, yes. Oh, wait.
Making the jump for fifth.
Ah, yeah.
It is possible that they are the ones. Not you, not I,
Not Mark.
not Mark. But
Our offspring.
yes, after all, we will have a nice, reasonably healthy gene pool to mess around with.
That's true.
How is the channeler's finger from the bang?
I think it's pretty well gone.
Good.
How's Luna doing?
Better.
Oh, good.
Mhm. She is unfortunately the only one of her race here.
So, our condolences.
No, why?
Well, she's lonely.
Yes. Condolences normally suggest when somebody has ceased to function. Commiserations would be used.
Correct.
And also you have an apology to make to Tia.
For the trip?
No. For awakening thoughts and memories in her.
Oh. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yes. She knows that you were responsible for her confusion.
It was strictly accident.
Yes. We all make mistakes after all. Obviously, the channeler made a mistake in not relaying the full story to you.
Yeah, but I'm glad I got it now.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be making that same mistake in the future.
Yeah, so I can discuss this freely as the girls or the young ladies, whatever you wish to call them, are busy at the moment throwing bricks at each other.
Oh, good. What fun.
Mm-hmm. They're being very juvenile, including a redhead.
Oh, good. At least they're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any damage done?
Not major.
Now, I understand then that this is something that was necessary,
Mm,
being that everything's perfect. There's a plan for this.
we're still discussing a few little.
Yes.
It wasn't desired as yet. It was a little bit premature. When the time is correct, we will notify you, and then you can jog your memory and pull it out of her, as it were. But we are going to slow down here a little bit on her intent to be the first one to go solid on a third dimension.
Oh, because it would accelerate that same problem.
Yes. And we need time to prepare her.
Anyway, healing.
Mhm.
I have got this incredible urge to get some healing started.
Mhm.
At least practice.
Well, there is something that you could practice on. The channel is being very male
Yes, I know.
and macho.
So we can't work on that.
No,
Let's put it that way.
we suggest that there is an inflamed area on the right, just above the knee, that has been causing considerable pain to the channel. And we're probably going to get into trouble for divulging this, as he is, as I said, trying to be very macho and go, no pain, no pain. But we are concerned that it is forming into a debilitating disability, as bending the knee does cause pain.
Wouldn't it be tough to kind of give him a workout now? In fact, there isn't much say in the matter.
No, but you need his say in the matter. Because you have to focus his energies, and I can focus his energies, but as for control over such a distance, well, you see what happens when I lack hand-eye coordination, I burn things.
Okay. Well, we're not going to get in voluntarily, let's put it that way.
There is a way. There is a way. And we shall discuss it with Kia, who has quite a bit to say in the matter. And we shall put Kiri in for the time being.
Okay.
So, I'm going to have to set it up with mischievous Kia.
Good luck.
Ouch. Obviously, she heard her name. And we apologise for making a vocal sound that should have been made up here, as it happens it appeared down there as well.
That's alright.
And I'm now wet. Oh well.
Oh well.
See you in a little while,
It's a deal, man.
and I shall be curled up and I shall be expecting you.
Okay. Here.
Yes, and Clara finally is sleeping all night. However, she probably won't find.
Well, I'll try to wake her up like
That's all right. There. See you in
Thank
a
you,
little while.
come on.
Thank you. I'm used to that. Oh,
You do that. Hi, Kiri. How's it going? All right, I heard you throwing drinks around.
got exist.
Oh, you didn't.
Just as you came out,
How's it going, love?
slippery and wet.
That many drinks getting through, and I'm sure you're lots of wet.
Kiri.
Okay. Good seeing you tonight. And Alex is looking very well.
Okay, now then. Want to ask me some questions?
Sure, look.
Coercion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I know that it's almost impossible to coerce anyone while farsighted. Okay. Is there a way to coerce someone from long distance?
Yeah. You can also do that like me.
Well,
Practice.
practice. How do you practice something like that?
No, you take somebody that's 5 feet away, you coerce them, then somebody that's 10 feet away, coerce them, then 15, and then 30. Keep on upping your distances.
Right. That's practice on.
But, yeah, lots of practice. Me, I can coerce somebody over 93 million miles.
Boy,
Can't I?
how about over the telephone?
No.
No chance.
I hope in...
Hades.
Yeah.
Now, you do have a voice. And there are ways to pitch your voice.
Yeah.
So that you could gain your things you need.
That is popping an idea into somebody's head. That is not coercing them. Yeah, it may sit in their mind for a few minutes, few days, few weeks, few years, and then something will pop out. That is not coercion.
Really?
That is persuasion.
Okay.
This is part of coercion, but it's not strictly speaking true coercion.
I need that.
But
Because I have a feeling I might be having to use some of that fun stuff here on the project I've got scheduled to start working on. Where I might need to start working on a telephone basis to people from long distances, like out of state.
okay, now how do we coerce you?
Well, I'm sitting right next to me.
Well,
I'll use Mark's energy to kind of just grab me up. Well,
because I am clever.
okay.
But, okay, hold on, let me adjust that slightly. Okay, now then, I'm not using Mark's energy,
Okay.
I'm disengaging that. Now then, you have a great capability in making nice, warm beverages. It is enjoyable. We do enjoy drinking tea with you. It needs to be a little bit stronger. A little bit maybe putting an extra tea bag, as it were. So when you come up next time, I will make tea for you to show you the way that it just needs to be. And I like my tea. Okay. Now then, back to normality.
Okay.
And plug back in properly.
Very good.
Now you'll see what we mean in a little while. Okay. Now then, other questions?
Okay. Back to the original question on persuasion. Now, the way you just used your vocabulary in such a fluid manner was part of the process. Okay. Now, if you eliminate the energy and use strictly the vocabulary,
I think. You think not?
what would lead through there?
So I'm a little bleeder. I'm like, hey, carry on.
Okay. We're using those same kind of vocabulary and the way that you coach your phrases. You can accomplish desired result.
Yeah.
So the trick is to have your phrases down before you say them.
Exactly.
Okay. So we got these scripts,
Mm-hmm.
or basic outlines.
Yeah.
And working in filling in these spaces.
And you could work with a dead person and you'd be a trick hunter. Okay, so I haven't got a moral sense of humour.
Likewise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to be able to change someone's mind
Mm-hmm.
when they have it set in a particular manner,
Mm-hmm.
it would take a little bit of logic,
Yeah.
persuasion,
Uh-huh.
and alternate ideas.
Laid out very cleverly and precisely and thought out beforehand. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my job.
Full time or part
Part-time, lovely.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll give me good practice for then when I get into a real situation where I'm eye to eye,
Mm-hmm.
being able to add the energy in with that. Good.
Okay.
That'll get me to think on a linear level.
Dream on.
Hey, come on, you can do it.
Uh-huh.
Well, if I can learn to parse, I can learn to coerce like you.
When I come back, I will show you full meaning of the word coercion.
I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Mm-hmm. You will see me coerce. You will see me in my full capability and glow, instead of being restrained by big sis.
Make sure there's 3 tea bags at that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Get out of here. Can I cover his feet up now?
It's up to you.
No, it's up to you.
It is.
Yeah, so it won't be uncovered again once I do. Alright.
Right. I'm out of here.
Okay, Tara. A very take a very fun time, whatever you're gonna do.
Slippery when
Right.
Why?
Thank you.
Oh, it's supposed to have been called Tia.
Oh, Luna.
Yes.
Wow. I'm glad to hear you, and I should have realized that it's not quite Tia's manner of speaking.
No, it isn't it.
But I'm glad to hear you're back with us.
I've not been out.
I don't know, but you haven't talked to me in a while.
I have much to do.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to find time.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy our chat for today.
Yes. So, what would you like to drink? I have some wine.
How about some Syrian white burgundy?
I don't have any wine.
Red wine?
I have light red wine.
Okay. I'll leave that to your excellent judgment.
Oh, I only have time for one question.
Okay. Good word. That's a good word. Now, as our Earth shifted axis since its inception,
Yes, that is.
while it was populated,
Only once passage populated.
and the results would be an Atlantean disaster. It's like,
Check out all five leaves be an example of the earth shifting.
floods.
Yes. That was after a lifetime in recorded history that you have access to.
That was after the Atlantean?
Yes.
No, I'd always assumed that was the same thing as the Atlantean.
Now, you see what happens is occasionally a periodically your planet goes through the natural shifting of poles. Kind of flips over.
Flips over?
Yes, there is a wobble in the orbit, and it flips.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything on the horizon?
I
I mean, is it a predictable shift?
No, it's not. You see, because of the speed of the rotation increasing, it becomes less frequent.
Good. Thought of our world flipping axis would be a little bit disconcerting.
Yes, it would hidden.
Certainly wreck our species.
No, not really. Because it would make it colder.
Oh, glaciers.
But
Okay, well, thank
without amount of time and it's too auspicious to
you. Thank you very much.
mm-hmm.
Work on this finish very soon. Yeah.
Hey, hey. Oh,
How's it going?
likewise.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
So, what you been telling me then?
So, how's motherhood treating you? Still throwing up?
A little. Not as much as others. You want me to demonstrate?
No, we better hold off on that.
Mm-hmm.
But since your gestation period,
Yeah.
is shorter than just my lady's,
Mm-hmm.
that means your pregnancy period would be a little bit more of an upheaval.
A little. It's supposed to be the last 3 months, and as I've only been pregnant for 6 weeks, I've still got another 6 weeks to go before I start to get a bit of an upheaval. My stomach goes, or apparently it will go.
All at once, kind of.
Yeah. I kind of, my stomach will be out by, let's see if I can get this right. It's going to take a little bit of a haircut. Something going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got quite a bit then.
Oh, yeah. But I've never been pregnant before, so I'm looking forward to it. Like,
Yeah.
somebody else that I knew that had never been pregnant before.
Well, she came through it okay.
I told you I was tough.
Well, you've got an advantage over that anyway.
Uh-huh.
You float.
Oh, yeah.
So you can pretty much negate the effects of gravity upon your body.
Yeah. I won't have any stretch marks either.
That's right, you won't, will you?
Mm-hmm.
Now here's a question for you.
Uh-huh.
You're connected deeply with those children inside you.
Uh-huh.
Now, that means mentally you're on a telepathic bond.
Well, yeah.
Well, slightly.
And they're only just a little bit smaller than my little finger. Yeah.
Okay, well, as they grow, you got a tighter and tighter telepathic bond.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you're using TK throughout this pregnancy
Mm-hmm.
would be kind of like a lesson for them
You have to use PK.
before they're born.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yes.
Never thought of that before.
I remember as a very little girl, no smart comments were inside, but I used to be able to float in my bed. I think probably about 5. I can't quite remember. Yeah, it's kind of one of those childhood memories.
Right. So this will be similar to what your children will go through when they're born.
Yeah.
They'll have the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's going to be fun in the nursery.
Oh, yeah. You know how much I can lift in that matter? I'm close to probably about 4 tons.
4 tons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My car doesn't weigh 4 tons.
I guess he goes down and helps occasionally with keeping a hand in his very new cargo boats.
Oh. Who was it that might have helped out as a matter of lifting mattresses about a week or 2 ago? Thank you for that, by the way.
See, I can do it whenever I want.
Mm-hmm. Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. Let me demonstrate. I think they were working this morning. Now then, there's a message from Karra. I'm not quite sure what it means. Oops, it dropped it. Teach me to write things down, won't it? Yes. Legs up arm.
Okay, you'll be assisting them.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's what she said anyway. She said yes later on when he gets back.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna says when I see him, before he goes, I'm gonna say, isn't it, buddy? When you were in pain, I'm in pain. And at the moment, because I'm pregnant, I don't want pain. If it's not strictly true, you know.
True. But he's gonna be listening.
Oh well,
Oh well.
here it is.
In its own time.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
But maybe by mentioning the fact, it'll make him more considerate. Uh-huh. Okay. Now then,
Right.
Wednesday night,
When did I?
you do it.
I meet you on some far off star.
Uh-huh. How about serious?
Oh, I like that.
5th dimension.
Okay.
Outside the horse and hound.
Oh.
And actually, it would be outside the porpoise and the tuna.
Far?
Mm-hmm. It's a very fishy place.
Yeah.
Always.
Seafood, I'll bet.
Always something very suspicious going on there. Yes, it is good to be fun, unfortunately. Because I'd be farsighted and you'd be farsighted, we won't be able to indulge in it.
True.
But next time Tom makes a trip up there, I might hitchhike.
Oh, good idea. Grab some good seafood.
See if we can get back in here. For him it's about a 2 hours there, 2 hours back, so it'll be a 4 hour round trip. Layover of an hour, 5 hours? Oh, I'm a mathematical genius.
Well, good. Then I'll come up and share some seafood with you sometime.
Yeah, we'll keep it nice and fresh.
All right. If you have any good oysters, that'd be great, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, now then.
Right.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
On far side, the trip needs to be. I need to work on focusing.
Okay, tell you what I'll do. Is I'll get on the blower and we should get some special plaques made up in your English writing.
Oh, that should be
See if you can read them.
okay. Good.
What I would do is I would tell the chandler to write them down so that when you get back you tell him, see if they match.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
And that sounds like a good plan. Am I going to look for you there?
I will find you.
Very good. Okay, good. We're set for Wednesday.
Yeah. What did Kiri say? Slippery when wet. That's what I always carry a towel.
Hey, a towel is a very valuable item for travel.
How so?
Well, if you've ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, always keep your towel in handy all the time.
Okay, tell me what's so special about it.
Well, a towel has many special uses. You can use it for a headband in the desert. Use it for a pair of shorts if you ever have to come up short.
Oh, you mean like not nappy?
Right.
Nappy. Get confused sometimes.
Extra large napkin or especially messy meal.
Use it for hand-to-hand combat.
You betcha.
You can use it as a sail to sail down slow, heavy river moth. Yes, we found the file.
I thought you might. What is it? A good food knows where his towel is?
No, it's, hey, who's that poopy sass board prefect? There's a prude who knows where his tail is.
That's the one.
Sass to me to know. To beware of have sex with doopy, really together guy, Frude, really amazingly together guy.
That's the one. Very good. You're file hunters.
We have an answer.
Right.
42.
How for something completely different.
Yeah, a disadvantage though, that's not here.
No, that's Monty Python.
Okay.
Anyway, I look forward to Wednesday. I think we're going to have a great, great fun time.
Well, I'm going off to do some thinking with some other part of my own.
Okay.
So, I guess you could say that about wraps it up for this session.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much, love. Have a very wonderful time and happy.
Yeah, message from Karra. You're not going to stop practicing, are you?
Never.
Oh, well, I'm going to go off and get spoken for again.
Okay.
And again.
Go have fun being spoken for. Have a great time.
Okay. Have a great time.
I will.
Okay.